But we know somebody who was celebrating, popping off fireworks on his own, was one George Sedano.
Well, I think that George is a respectful NBA observer. And I think that when Deandre Ayton's statue goes up in front of Crypto.com, and I think when his jersey is retired, I think everybody will have proper, understanding of the greatness that was Deandre Ayton and his one season with the Lakers. Man, he was awesome. We're going to miss him. We really are.
Well, it is interesting because now they don't have any backup centers, so they're going to have to figure that out.
George, we didn't really talk about this much last week because there was so much going on with who the Lakers were adding to the roster. And the one departure that we talked about was obviously it started the dominoes falling, which was LeBron's announcement last week. He'll play, just not for the Lakers. Once LeBron made the announcement, within 24 hours, the Lakers were adding new bodies, right? And then one thing we never talked about last week was Jackson Hayes leaving the Lakers to go to Utah, which I must say, Jackson Hayes should be looking over at Luka going, my brother, I became a Slovenian citizen for you. I never been to Slovenia. I couldn't find Slovenia on a map if you gave me an hour.
It's kind of close to Italy.
Well, thanks for the heads up. I mean, now I got to figure out where Italy is.
Yeah.
But the point I'm trying to make is you asked me to become a Slovenian citizen so I could play with you, and I thought that meant I was safe with the Lakers. And now I'm leaving the Lakers to go to Utah. This is Jackson Hayes. And Deandre Ayton gets shipped to the Wizards. And I'm thinking to myself, if everybody told me last year the center room was the worst in the NBA, well, what do they have? They got one guy now. Who's a backup center? I said we need more size, not one guy. So what do the Lakers have at center other than Walker Kessler right now? And if am I supposed to believe that Sandro Mamu is now like your backup center? He's 6'9". Maybe he can play a little bit.
He should be your small ball five, not your backup five.
Right. So, listen, I understand DeAndre Ayton was not well-liked necessarily by the Laker organization. And when he opted into his contract, people were like, no! But once he opted in, they were like, all right, well, we'll find a way to get rid of him, which they did. But you tell me, George, I'm waiting for an answer here. I mean, what else do they have in terms of a backup center? What else do they have besides one guy at 7'2", who's coming off playing 5 games? And again, you can argue all day long, was he hurt? Was he not hurt? Could he have come back and played? But facts are the facts. Brother had, shoulder surgery. He's been dealing with a shoulder injury since his college days. And that's what you have now is one center on this roster?
What do you think of Nick Richards or Kevon Looney, Sedano?
I mean, Kevon Looney is, he's not really a Luka type of center. Nick Richards probably a little closer to that. But, Kevon Looney has a lot of experience. He's a wide body, good rebounder, but he's not really like a lob threat necessarily.
Those are just a couple of the rumored names that's still out there, at least.
Yeah. I mean, not your traditional Luka center. But, I feel like anybody can play with Luka. I mean, it's not like, it's not like, it would be a bad situation. It's just not ideal is what I would say. But Nick Richards is more suited for that role.
Would you rather have Nick Richards or would you rather have DeAndre Ayton? That does not sound like a glowing endorsement for Nick Richards.
No, not at all. How about Drew Eubanks? Does Drew Eubanks do anything for you?
I mean, Drew Eubanks okay as a backup. I think Nick Richards pretty good, actually.
What about Larry Nance Jr.?
I mean, Larry Nance is kind of an undersized center, but does do the vertical spacing. Yeah, I probably, if you're asking me, Nick Richards understands he's the backup center, though. You see what I'm saying? Like, DeAndre Ayton would not want that. DeAndre Ayton would be like, why am I not getting more touches? Why is Walker Kessler starting over me?
Yeah, why is Walker Kessler making whatever it was? Was it $35 million, $40 million, whatever it is?
130 over
$8
4.
million. Yeah. I'm making $8
right.
million
So
bucks.
I mean, I think the difference is Nick Richards would is a good backup center and would understand the pecking order.
Well, understanding your role is an important part of being, on a harmonious roster. You know, you don't need a backup center making $8.1 million who sometimes shows up and sometimes doesn't. You don't need him to be a pain in the ass because nobody wants to manage that personality. So if you're a superstar, they'll manage your personality. But if you're a backup player making very little money compared to the rest of the league at that position, and you were a number 1 overall pick, the last thing I have time to do is manage your emotions. So I understand why you'd want to get rid of him. I'm just saying that for all of the, and I don't know that I'll call it like excitement. I don't think people were jumping for joy like as if the Lakers were winning a championship based on their additions last week. But I think that for those of us that looked at the Lakers roster a year ago and looked at the other teams in the West, we went, they better get bigger and stronger and younger. And they did, but then they don't really have anybody beyond Kessler. And so that seems like a dangerous place to be because health is obviously paramount to all of this. And so Luka's got an injury history. Austin Reeves does as well. And Kessler does. So your top 3 stars where you've invested all your money are all guys who have been hurt throughout their careers, short as some of them may be. So I am, as much as I know that people did not like Deandre Ayton, for me, you get what you pay for. You got an $8 million center last year. That's what you paid for. Well, that's what you got.
You know, I was listening to the Hoop Collective over the weekend, and they did one of the episodes of, it was Tim McMahon, Wendy, of course, and then Vince Goodwill. And they were talking like the entire episode about the Lakers. And one point that Wendy made was that you see all these like backup centers now are signing for like $5 to $10 million, and the Lakers don't even really like have that kind of money really. So it's interesting because they put all their eggs in the Walker Kessler basket, and they don't even have a viable backup. And there isn't a whole lot left on the market for them to even go after.
Yeah. I mean, I would say this though. I mean, what you need somebody to give you. I mean, I guess you can go Mamukelashvili for 10 minutes over a game, 8 to 10 minutes over a game. So let's just say 8, right? Let's just be conservative here. Walker Kessler's probably going to give you 34, 35 minutes. So now you really just need someone that can give you, 5, 6 minutes, in that range. In a perfect world, you'd be reversed. You'd want them to give you 8 to 10 and Mamukelashvili to only give you 5 or 6 minutes if you need it.
See, I think the reason that you get rid of a guy like Ayton is not because he couldn't contribute, but I think you're exactly right. This is a guy that instead of saying, hey, look, I'm only making $8 million, and the fact of the matter is I never became a Hall of Fame caliber player, even though I was the number 1 overall pick. And yeah, they just went into the world of, I guess you'd call it free agency, even though it was a trade, and they went out and they replaced me with a younger player who is probably a significantly better player. So you know what? I'll just take my $8 million and I'll play my 8 to 10 minutes a game. But Ayton doesn't seem to be the kind of guy that can handle that. I mean, he could barely handle being the center and being the starter every night. When things were good, it was give me the ball. I'm not touching the ball. Oh, they want me to be this guy. So he's kind of has a crap attitude. I mean, right? He's got a crappy attitude. Mm-hmm. And so why do we want to manage that?
That helps. His crunk juice.
The crunk juice the crunk juice. What was that jewelry he got himself where he talked about?
Oh, yeah, the new chain that said dominating.
Yeah, dominating. Yeah.
Well, he's going to be a backup in Washington, isn't he?
Well, maybe not. I mean, it kind of depends. Well, no, Alex Sarr will start. You're right. Alex Sarr and AD in a ideal world would play next to each other. Yes.